It was in college when my friends and I decided we wanted to do something adventurous. We had heard tales of a street in Manila called Balete Drive, a name derived from the balete trees that once lined the road. The legends surrounding this street were chilling. Ghosts, enchantresses, duendes, you name it. The most notorious of these spirits was the White Lady, a ghost said to haunt the area, a tragic figure whose story sent shivers down our spines. According to the legend, the White Lady was the spirit of a woman who had been brutally raped and murdered there long ago. She supposedly appeared to unsuspecting cab drivers at night, asking for a lift. When the driver turned to ask her where she wanted to go, she would vanish into thin air. Some claimed she could cause cars to swerve, leading to horrific accidents, leaving behind only whispers of her presence. So one fateful night, emboldened by youthful bravado, we piled into an SUV, 8 of us eager for a thrill, and set off to find this infamous street. It should have been easy. It was just a few kilometers from my friend's house. But as we drove, confusion set in. No matter how many turns we took, we found ourselves circling back to the same familiar landmarks, street signs, houses, even the same stray dog that seemed to watch us with an unsettling gaze. What was meant to be a half-hour adventure turned into 2 hours of growing dread. The streets were eerily deserted. Not a single soul was in sight. Anxiety began to seep into our laughter as we realized we were lost in the heart of the city, with no idea how to escape. Finally, we spotted a narrow side street we hadn't seen before. It was called Rosal Saint and was unlike anything around it. We turned in, hoping it would lead us out of our predicament. But as we drove deeper, the atmosphere shifted. The brick walls on either side closed in on us, suffocating our sense of safety. 15 minutes later, the walls fell away, and darkness enveloped us. The streetlights flickered and disappeared, replaced by an unpaved road that seemed to stretch endlessly into a shadowy expanse. Suddenly, we found ourselves surrounded by what looked like an old rice farming community. Nipa huts and rice paddies that felt like a cruel joke in the middle of Metro Manila. It was as if time had folded in on itself, transporting us to another era. Panic surged through us. Someone suggested turning our clothes inside out, a supposed way to confuse any entities that might be playing tricks on us. We did so without hesitation and turned the SUV around, desperate to escape this surreal nightmare. As we retraced our path back to Rosal Saint, the oppressive darkness seemed to close in around us, whispering secrets we couldn't understand. Finally, back on modern roads, we breathed a collective sigh of relief as we made our way home. But sleep eluded us that night. Every creak and shadow seemed amplified in the silence. We couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed us back. The next morning, under the light of day, we resolved to return and find that eerie Rosal Saint we spent half the day driving around, retracing our steps. But it was as if the street had never existed. Our search felt futile and haunting. It was a reminder that some places are meant to be left undisturbed. As weeks passed, strange things began happening to each of us. Flickering lights at odd hours, shadows darting just out of view, and dreams filled with whispers that echoed the tales of Balete Drive. One night, one of my friends didn't come home. She vanished without a trace. The police found nothing, but we all knew. The White Lady had claimed another soul. That night haunted us for years, a chilling reminder that some adventures come with a price too steep to pay. We learned that curiosity can sometimes lead you down dark paths, where legends blur with reality and the past is never truly buried.